Okay, so it's Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast, and we've got an absolute special edition tonight because our next guest is here due to seriously ridiculous circumstances. So I was buying something off my favorite secondhand app, and then I decided to buy something else from the same seller. Then I realized the seller was none other than two times Harriers faithful Jim Kellermann. I sent him a quick message and he's loving the podcast. So I was like, Jim, he's got to come on, mate. We had to get him on. So, Jim, welcome to Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast, my friend.
Thank you, mate. That's nice to be here.
Good, good, good. Jim, now we're going to go a bit Jerry Springer now. How's things? Be honest. How's things?
Well, I'm selling all my old gear on Vinted, so can't be going that well, can it? Um, no, I'm doing all right, doing absolutely fine. I've kind of got myself back to a level where I feel like I'm ready to be playing again. I've played a few games recently, um, but yeah, it's just I'm just old, mate. I'm old. I've had too many injuries, and my knees are creaking in the morning and stuff. So yeah,
Don't start
it's
Dan off.
I'm
Do
doing all
not
right,
start
but
Dan
I'm
off with that. Because Dan plays on a Sunday, literally about an hour before we do the podcast, and he's always
yeah.
sweating and he was in the bath
Yeah.
last time. It was
Do you
crazy
know,
on the time.
there's
You got to do
times
what you got
where
to do, mate.
Yeah.
exactly,
Recovery is
but there's
important.
there's times where I'm happy I'm sat down because I feel like my legs are just going to give underneath. I don't show these guys that. Obviously, I try and look comfortable and happy, but no, it's never good.
Jim, can we go back to Southport away, last game of the season? Were you there? In fact, Jim, were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened, Jim? Because no one's telling us what happened there. That was ridiculous.
Do you know what? I just think that I'll go back to even before Southport.
Yeah.
There were games in the season when I'd been injured, and you do get a feeling for games where you think, I'm not sure about today. Something just doesn't feel right, like the
Yeah.
week's build up or something like that. And then we'd go and smash someone 4-0. And those worries kind of went to the back of my mind then, like those initial feelings. Um, and that happened on a handful of occasions. And honestly, we were on such a high rolling into that game
Yeah.
that think I don't think anyone thought it was done, but it just felt like so we were just rolling. And then when that game came about, because it was a big game, me watching as a spectator, I had those feelings again. Like I'm not sure about today. Something just doesn't feel right. And then I was like, well, I felt like this for 6 or 7 games, and we've just kept rolling teams over. Um, and then yeah, I just think it's one of those things that happen. I mean, everyone looks at the league table and where we were in comparison to Southport, but Southport on paper still had a really, really good team. Um, and they massively underperformed last season. Um, and I think it puts so much pressure on you when you're playing. That was our final, really. And, you know, we had to win or draw to get it over the line. I mean, draw, I think it was dependent on other results if
We
we
had to
drew, but
win. We had to
so
win
we had
one
to
nil.
win. Yeah, and I think it's easier to be in Southport's corner in that game than a kiddie player. All that added pressure and things like that. And yeah, we just didn't deal with the moments really in the momentum of the game. And fair play to them, they've done a job. I mean, nobody's going to want you to win the league on their patch, are they? So we probably should have expected 150% effort from them. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But yeah, it was heartbreaking, wasn't it, to see
absolutely.
to watch and be involved in really.
We took
Uh,
2000 there, man. They should have been happy with that,
yeah,
the old Bunsen burner or whatever it's called. Yeah, but they weren't. So there you go. Jim, let's go back to the very beginning of your when you came to Harriers. You joined us in the COVID phase of life. That must
yeah,
have been weird. Was that weird?
yeah. It was bizarre. I think I was at St Mirren at the time. I'd had a really high in my career where I'd been released from Wolves. I'd had 2 really good years at Aldershot. I was about 22, and I'd kind of thought my next step was right. I'll go and play Scottish Premier League, do exactly what I've just done last season, and I'll be flying and I'll be an actual footballer, go and make a career and some decent money.
Wow.
Um, and the day I signed for St Mirren, 2 days after the manager went to Sunderland. So I had a new manager, new country, new surroundings and everything, and it just didn't work out. So I was really like low with football. I was up there on my own. Um, and Russ Penn got in contact with me, came to Kiddie, and I'd had shoulder problems at Aldershot before, so I got them sorted out whilst I was not playing at St Mirren, and I needed some games. Came down to Kiddie, and then COVID hit, and it was just not the right time at all to be Kiddie. For me personally, not because of the club at all. I think everyone's life at that point is probably a bit of a whirlwind. But yeah, it was just the timing was just all off. And then after Kiddie, I was actually going to quit football. So and Chesterfield came out of the blue from there. So yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind really coming to Kiddie the first time. It was definitely the wrong time. Uh,
Yeah.
these things happen, and
There's been many Saturday nights out I've had in Kidderminster. I've gone, this is the wrong time. I shouldn't be here.
yeah,
We
should have
shouldn't
been
be here
home
at
at
all.
7. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, your turn.
Jim, so you've been a Harrier twice and you've played under both Russ Penn and Phil Brown. How would you compare their coaching styles, their tactical approaches and their overall philosophies?
Well, I think Russ, for starters, is he's he's says it how it is, kind of bloke. He wants to take he wants the team to reflect him. To be fair, I think all managers do. I think they all want the team to reflect their personality. But I think with Russ, that's really evident. He plays on the front foot. He's a good bloke. And I think that showed really with the success that he kind of had here. And then Phil, on the other hand, was a good manager in a different way. He had that aura of being a boss. But he was really had a really relaxed, hands-off approach, let the dressing room run itself. And that worked as well. But I think what he was really fortunate with was a really good group of players at Kiddie last year and a
Mm.
core group of senior players that really drove that. But I couldn't say anything bad about either of them. They were both good to me at both spells. So, but yeah, there was definitely a difference.
When you came to Harriers, did Russ Penn go, right, we're going to the training ground now? And did he go, ta-da, 14 pictures of how many it is? Because
It's amazing, isn't it?
he said, Russ says, that's all I do. That's all I do when I try and get signed players. I just show them the training
Yeah.
ground and cozy and then boom, done. Absolutely is.
But I mean, for me, I mean, I'm I wouldn't say I'm a Harriers fan, but I've lived here
Cheers,
a
Jim.
lot of
Thanks
my
very much,
life.
mate. Appreciate that on the podcast.
But I've got a massive soft spot, obviously, for the club. I've been around here. It's the first club it's the first football team that I ever went to watch consistently. And the facilities on a show and stuff like that, the structure of the club is brilliant now. And it has been, but I know it's had like its little dips and troughs, but it frustrates the life out of me that it's in the position still that it is. No, position is the wrong word, but they're in the league that they're in. I think, sustainability wise, it's in a good place. But yeah, you look at those pictures and the things that they've got on hand, and you're like, oh God, like teams in League One don't have this. Um, so there's definitely massive opportunity at Kidderminster for something really really good to happen. I think anyway.
Yeah, for growth as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
massive.
Before we continue, you said your first game was at Harriers. Can you tell us what game it was? Because there'll be statos who want to know what game it was. Do you remember and what year?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I remember Bo Henriksen playing. That was my favourite player. I think there might have been. Well, I don't know if Bennett was on. Bennett might have been there at the same time. Winger.
Yeah,
With a
Dean Bennett.
skinhead, I think. But you know what it's like. You see the one who scores the goals, and you're like, he's my favourite, which was Bo.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it was. I remember it being Division Three, so it was in the old days when it was Division One, Two, and Three.
Mm.
So yeah,
So I'll narrow it down from 2000 to 2005. Is that right, Nick?
oh yeah, something like that. Would have
around
been. I
that
would have
sort of
been.
time.
I would have been about 9, I think. So yeah, 2003 ish, 2002, 2003.
Okay, so let's crack on, Jim. Being a local lad, it was all set up for you to return to play in the championship winning season. What went wrong with you personally?
Well, for starters, I think I had a conversation last summer with Phil and Dean in the summer when I was out of contract, and I really wanted to come here. Um, I had my missus was pregnant at the time, just bought a house in Kidderminster. So it was really I wanted to be a kiddie, and financially it was just not it just wasn't close to what I was getting offered elsewhere. So ended up going elsewhere, and that was just can I swear on here? Or
Of course.
it wasn't very good where I went last
Yeah,
season.
there we go.
Um, and then to be fair, me and Dean have always kept in contact throughout that time. And I think as soon as my boy was born, I just wanted to come home. I couldn't be doing travelling down motorway every other day. Um, so I came home, and then it came about, and then Riley Reynolds and Zach Brown were unplayable for the first month of my time here, and me and Digger were sat on the bench at Hereford away, and just looking at each other, going like, "Can we say?"
What's the point?
But it wasn't like a competition thing. I was delighted for both of them because they were just unplayable for about 2 months, I think. Zach and Riley especially, and the whole team, to be fair. And then eventually got myself in the team. Started a bit slow, but then done all right. Got up to started feeling I was having an effect. Um, and then yeah, just hamstring went out of absolutely nowhere. I think when I went and saw a surgeon, he said to me that I had 3 injuries worth of tears in my hamstring, and he was like, "That's not happened from one instance." So I think I'd been playing with a problem and just not knowing it. And then yeah, that was kind of my season done, and well, and pre-season obviously. So I'm just about back now. So yeah, it was gutting. I was really gutted about it, especially when I couldn't affect anything, from the side. But yeah,
You play
that
well at
was it.
Alfreton away, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, Alfreton away. Alfreton away. I thought actually, I said I started slow. I played quite well in the Slough game, which was my first game with the team. Alfreton away, I done all right. Chester was a hard game because they were flying at that point. I think they'd won their last 8 games when we played them. So getting a draw there was good when I played that. Um, and it was just, I think we'd had that little lull after Boxing Day. We'd hit such a high, and then we lost to was it Rushall
Yeah.
on New Year's
I was
Day?
there, man.
Yeah.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, and no one saw that coming, and that took a massive dive for us really because it was so tight at the top, wasn't it, as well?
Hmm.
You'd lost one game, and it was like, oh my God, we're out of it. Um, so yeah, trying to pick that back up and get some momentum back again. It's like building blocks with football. You can't go from that high and then losing and think, okay, it's all right, it's a blip. You do have to really steadily build back up. And I think the way Phil managed, he, if you won, you kept your shirt. If you lost, it was changes. So he then had to find a balance of what worked, and worked with players who had probably been deserving a start, hadn't been able to because the team were doing so well. So there was a lot of almost half-season teething problems, I'd say. Um, we lost to Marine away, which was
Yeah.
again another one. I,
Mhm.
I think that's a different game if Riley doesn't get sent off, and obviously his red card got rescinded,
Yeah.
rightly so. And then I think the next one was Spennymoor when I got injured. So yeah, 2 brief spells where I've probably made about 10 appearances,
What
but
you been
been
doing
there
on
for
here,
two
man?
seasons.
Nick's got a
Yeah,
great
well,
question for you now, Jim. Great question
yeah.
for you now.
What would you say has been your best moment in a Harriers shirt?
You know what? I honestly, this is the most disappointing thing for me because I would love to have shown Harriers what I can actually bring. I've not done anything that would require me to be like,
Stand
that was a
out.
good moment. Nah, not at all. And that's what's disappointed me and the most really. I think I've reflected on it a lot really because I've not been I've not been comfortable when I've played at the Harriers. And I don't know whether that is because it's like a club that I want to do
Mm,
so well for,
yeah.
but I'm experienced now, so I shouldn't really have been thinking I know I can do what I can do. Um, so yeah, I think that's been a big hurdle for me to get round. Really, is going like I
Yeah,
know
what's that
half the squad.
moment? Yeah,
Yeah, what is that moment? So yeah, I've not really. I wouldn't say I've got one to be
yeah.
honest, which is
Can,
gutting.
can I ask you a second question? Sorry to go
Yeah,
off piece, Wes, but you mentioned there about Zach and Riley being unplayable at that time. Zach,
yeah,
you may or may not know, within the fan base, was very much a polarised figure in terms of what he
right,
bought. As a player
yeah.
to a player, how good was that, Brown? Or
Brilliant,
not?
mate. Like so he's got attributes that you can't just work on to get. So he's naturally got talent, and you find it when he's got like a balance and a speed where it doesn't look like much from the side, but it's so underrated because when I go up to tackle him as a centre mid and he glides past you, that you get that for 90 minutes constantly. At the end
Mm,
of it, you're knackered. And the fact that he can continue to do that on a week to week basis, Saturday, Tuesday, he's got something really good. I think for himself, I mean, I spoke to him last season. He just needs to hang goals in because
yeah,
he's got that in abundance to just keep running forward, keep running forward, keep running forward. And then technically, he's as good as anyone I've like played with, like at national league level.
yeah,
And then he's also got like a good calm mind, so he can go from being sprinting to settling things down, which again is rare, because he came out of the academy football quite late, really, I think. And so to adjust to that when you're a bit older, you kind of get looked at like, well, you're 24, mate. You should be a little bit better than that.
mm,
It's not always like that football.
yeah.
But I think he'll do really well at Brackley. Honestly, I think he will. I think.
Wes won't want to hear that.
So you're
No,
not
none
allowed
of
to
us
say
will.
that in front of
The,
Wes.
the problem is,
I know, I know.
Jim, you say that, Jim, but I can guarantee you half of the Harriers fan base be going, well, why didn't he show it every game then? That's what they'll be saying.
Yeah, no, I get that, but then you've got to understand the league and the levels. You can't. If it was FIFA football or Premier League football, you can play a certain type of way. Some games require you to do other things,
Yeah,
and some of the games in the National League North do not suit Brownie at all
fair enough.
because they're not games made for footballers. Um, but I think for him, if he's got someone like Digger around him, constantly and just bullying people out of midfield, then Brownie would just flourish really. But yeah, he's got a good future ahead of him, and he's a good lad, really good lad.
And he's got great hair. Right. So my next
Great hair.
question was biggest regret at Harriers, but you've just basically said going to Harriers.
Yeah, no,
Not having a
nah,
standout
just
game.
yeah, just biggest regret is just honestly just disappointed that I've not been able to show what I can do. I think it's I get good reports. I still get tweets from other clubs that I've been at. Other than I think St Mirren and Fylde are the only ones that think I'm crap. But other clubs think I'm all right. So I'm gutted that I've not kind of gone into that kind of echelons with Kiddie really.
Big word, big
But it
word.
is what it is. It is what it is.
Nick, I think we touched on the next question a little bit, but do you want to go for it anyway?
Sure, yeah. So, Jim, who would you say has been your most challenging opposing player, whether that be through strength, skill, experience? I know it's quite difficult to play, come across lots of players, but any that sort of stand out as a real sort of competitor?
Yeah, well, I played in my early years at Aldershot. We had quite a rivalry with Tranmere because we were at the top of the National
Mm.
League and
Yeah,
two really contrasting styles of play. We really played football, and Tranmere were just absolute dominance, like physically and everything. And I was playing holding midfield against Connor Jennings,
yeah,
and he wasn't quicker than me, wasn't stronger than me. I don't think he's a better footballer than what I am, but he was just so clever with his movements, and he ran off me for about 3 goals. So we played them 4 times, and it was him who'd scored 3 times, and it was my fault for 3 times. And I just couldn't work out what I was doing wrong because I'd probably had the better of him for like 85 minutes of the game.
yeah.
So he's one that stuck out in my mind, especially. And then I played in the FA Cup game against Chelsea for Chesterfield. So
Right. everyone.
Kovacic, and yeah,
Is
just
it just a
level. There's levels to the
Yeah.
levels, mate.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It's
a
just
different game.
outrageous.
Yeah.
Dan,
Yeah,
your time, mate.
different game.
Mm. Jim, earlier you mentioned, the facilities at the club and, the kind of the back room of the clubs. The club feels ready for promotion. I mean, how do you rate Kiddie's chances this season under Adam Murray?
To be fair, I've been in for a couple of weeks, so I was doing my rehab with them in the off season. I've been in for a couple of weeks for the first start of pre-season just to get some training into me. And he's just, as a bloke, is really positive. He's really, really hands-on with everything in training, um, which is good.
Mm.
Um, and I do fancy them to be up there. I think it's going to be a lot harder than people think this season. I think there's a lot of teams that have strengthened well in that league. But Kiddie should be out the league. It's as simple as that. I think the thing is for you guys to understand is that we play when you play for the Harriers in that league, you're playing everyone at 120% because they are trying to get to Kiddie.
Yeah.
So you look at it playing against Warrington or whoever it is.
Oh, awful.
That's not a Warrington that Chorley play.
Yeah.
It's a different team. So it does require you. It's the hardest when you're at the top of the tree, as it were. Like you're always going to get the harder games.
Every
Um,
game's a cup final to the opposition, I
yeah,
guess.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and
Mhm.
that takes a lot of mental strength, but a lot of drain and mental strength,
Mm.
really. But I think they should do all right, Kitty. I think they've signed well, kept good players.
Mm.
I know that I think they could have kept a few more, but they've done well. They've done well. From
I
what
think
I
it's
saw in a brief 2 weeks, I think they'll be very good.
sure. I
Uh,
mean, there's been some great signings, and there's big rumours coming out of the club. Sorry, where's going off piece? Any chance you can play in goal?
What's the rumours? I've not heard these.
So there's been a rumor, a very hot rumor that Dibble's injured and it's a serious
Right.
injury. So we're sort of holding on to bated breath on Tuesday for the friendly at Agborough to see if he turns up or not. So we're not getting really anything from the club, but we sort of
I've
understand
not,
that. So yeah,
I've not heard anything about it.
Have you got his
So
number? Can you text him, Jim?
yeah.
Just
I could do.
yeah,
I might actually after this.
just let us
Everything all
know.
right, mate?
Yeah, let us know. Put us out of our misery. So
Yeah, so that was the reason the last episode that you watched was quite sad at the beginning, to be fair, apart
yeah.
from England winning the Euros. That was great. Now you've not cried, Jim, which is brilliant. So you're in a good place. Now it's the fun bit. Okay, I love doing this bit. It's great. Do you remember, Jim, the first pair of football boots you ever owned, and do you still have them?
I do. They were Adidas Predators, and I don't have them. No,
Oh,
gutting. I know.
Great
It's
choice.
actually
The ori- the,
devastating.
the
The
original ones as well,
originals, mate.
The
Yeah.
Beckham originals, yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, it's devastating because you could have sold them on Vinted. I mean, what are you
I
doing?
know, man. I know. Would have got about 15 quid for them.
I
it
love that.
depends if Wes could have
Gutted.
afforded them or not. I think he seems to be your main customer. So
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
I think I'm the only one, which is great because
I'd also be a little bit shocked, Wes, if your feet fit into
yeah.
Jim's football boots from when he was a child. That would be even more concerning, I think, than the buying them off Vinted.
that would be yeah, that would be strange. Jim, you scored a hat trick when you get back to playing football. You scored a hat trick, and the gaffer says, "Eat what you want tonight because calories are free." So, what you eating, Jim? What's going on? What you having?
Oh, fish and chips, mate. Fish and chips from round the corner. I think it's just you can't beat it. They
Which
do
which
these
which one
battered.
is this? Which chippy is
Uh,
this?
go to
Captain Cod.
Cookley, the one in Cookley. It's
Oh
got
yes.
they've got battered chips there, mate, and it's just everyone
Other
talks
chip
about
shops
this.
are available.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for
Sorry,
Jim,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
not.
yeah. Everyone talks about these ones in Bewdley, don't they, with the chip shop
Catcham's
diva,
End.
but I'm not
Catcham's
having it.
End in Bewdley is a cracking, but the
Is
Cookley.
it?
I've had chips from Cookley. It's superb.
I think, do you know, it's one of them things where wherever you've wherever you've been the most is always the best in it. So
Yeah.
you can, no matter who tells you this place is the best, you'll be like, this is the best, mate.
I can honestly say you can't get good fish and chips in Oxfordshire. It's just not possible. I don't know. They're so much better up Kidderminster way.
Straight
Jim,
out the canal, mate.
Yeah, that's
That's
what it
right.
is.
Wow.
Yeah,
There's a used bike just on the side.
Yeah,
On the side.
all adds to the flavor.
Do you want
just
salt and
stick some
vinegar with that
batter on it.
bike or?
With that
Yeah.
bike, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks, Jim. It's been absolutely amazing to have you on as the first actual bona fide guest on the Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast. So thank you so much for that, and thank you for getting invested in it as well. We appreciate that. Finally, Jim, where do you go from here career wise? Where do you go?
I think I'm trying to work that out as well. I might just become a vintage professional. It's got me this, isn't it? No, I really want to get into coaching. I want to get into player mentorship somehow. I've loved like throughout my career, I've loved helping younger lads that I'm playing with, advice wise and things like that. So that's definitely something I want to get into. I just don't know how to do it. So I'm trying to
What
work that out at the moment.
what age are you, Jim?
I'm 30.
Shut up,
Yeah,
man. You got 5 years left. Easy. I
Yes.
mean, Hemo's what, 54 or something? I mean, he's still going.
yeah,
He's
but
just signing a new
Hemo's
contract.
a freak of nature, mate.
I
He's
know.
still got a 16 pack that goes like us.
And it's 5% body fat, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ideally, where would you go? If you could play for one more team, where would you go? Will you be tapping up Dean every week? Just going, hi, Dean. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's just Jim, just available still. Just if
Just
you
letting you
need me.
know. Yeah,
Just
no,
round the
look,
corner.
listen, if Kiddie had me again, I'd jump at the opportunity, of course I would. I think I've come to the point in my career where I'm restricting myself a bit from going out a certain radius of where I want to be at home.
Yeah,
I
makes
think
sense.
Family
those,
ties, man.
yeah,
Family ties. We
exactly.
all get older.
Yeah, once you get teased with that, for a while, you just can't put a price on that. So yeah, I'm kind of restricted to around the West Midlands now. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not. I definitely do want to play. I mean, I think I'll always play anyway, even if I'm not getting paid. I love it too much. But yeah, we'll see what
If
happens.
that's the
Who
case,
knows?
Jim, Nick plays five-a-side in the leisure centre on a Sunday morning. If you
Yeah.
fancied
Let's
having a
do it,
kick
mate.
about,
It's nine aside, Jim.
what?
I think
Oh wow.
yeah. So we're on the bigger pitch. I think you'd probably find it a bit too easy. I think it's a fair few levels, but like they say there's levels within levels. Interesting story on that. One of my friends' nephews is Tom Kenny, and he was basically saying that Jimmy Bullard spoke to him, and basically Jimmy Bullard's best mate said that Jimmy Bullard was like a freak. Like you played with him, it was like this is the best player in the world. And then Jimmy Bullard saw Berbatov play, and Jimmy Bullard was like, I'm not even close to Dimitar Berbatov. And then, but it's just
Yeah.
a constant cycle of even the world
Yeah,
class players. There's still levels within
Yeah.
levels within
mate.
levels, and
It's ridiculous. Like
yeah.
I
So I
noticed.
don't want you to come and show me up really on a Sunday and on a nine side and score loads of
No.
goals past me.
But you're so right, mate. Like even in that Chelsea game specifically, I mean, coming up against like Werner and Lukaku and stuff, and you think, yeah, they're decent, but they're obviously way better than us. And then you see Kovacic, who's played years at Real Madrid, and you're like, he is just. It's
And
a
then you've got
different level
Rodri.
of athlete. Yeah. It's a different level of athlete, mate. Like, and like I said, I think there's just a gap even at the top. Like
Yeah.
the games that we watch and stuff, and you see these like special global players. They must just be ridiculous in training, like every single day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like.
Do you reckon their knees hurt in the morning like you, Jim?
I don't know. I think they probably have an injection of something, mate. So they've got superpowers, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think, but that's another thing. Like they're
The recovery
if
side
they've
of things.
yeah, their recovery. They probably don't even need to train. Do you know what I mean? They're paid to go and win millions and millions of pounds at the top level, aren't they? So the only thing that matters is a Tuesday and a Saturday, really.
They probably don't have to think about anything else in
No,
terms. I mean, I think Wenger talked about players wouldn't even drive themselves to training. Wenger
mm,
would get the players picked up. They'd have drivers I mean, we're talking
yeah,
in the 90s here, not like now.
Mm.
Just
Mm.
so that mental load was taken off them.
yeah.
It was
I
just
mean,
like
you would,
marginal
wouldn't you? If you
gains.
if you had all the money in the world, I think all of us we'd have a chef at home. I wouldn't be cooking. I'll tell you that for sure. I'll just be like,
Yeah.
"What we got for tea tonight, mate?" Do
Fish
you know
and
what I mean?
toast.
And
Fish and chips, yeah, fish and
Yeah.
Fish
chips.
and chips,
fish and
peas on
chips.
toast. Oh man, that's classic. Jim, thank you so much for coming on, pal. And listen, if
Um,
you're ever around, if Harriers are on, and they're at home, and if you ever want to come and watch a game with us, and you're more than welcome to come and join us if you
oh,
want, Jim.
will do. Thank you.
But don't
Thank you
try
for
and run
that.
on,
Thank you for
mate.
having me.
Don't run
No, I
on
won't.
like when they're warming up and be like, "I got the kit still. I got the kit."
No, my
Well, actually,
hammy
no,
will
you
go,
haven't because
mate.
I bought it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be on the pitch with my little boots from
Yeah, you little
2001, mate.
predators, yeah.
Oh, it was going so well until that
No,
happened. Jim, thank you so much, mate. Thank you. It's been a
thanks, guys.
blast. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Dan. Also, going to mention the friendly games. Nick, you said what's Haleso in tomorrow night? What time does it start?
7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow, just in case everyone thinks it's 7:45. So yeah, get yourself in the ground nice and early. 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow.
And then you got Solly Hull. Is that definitely at one?
One,
I thought it was at 12.
we'll confirm. I've not had a chance to check the kickoff time. I think it's 1 o'clock, but I'll
Probably is.
confirm.
I'd trust you more than me, to be fair. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Dan. And thank you, Jim, for being the first interview on here. We've told everyone that there's a famous player coming on. And then, Jim, we're great that you turned up
How
anyway. So,
disappointing for them.
It's 1 o'clock.
oh, I love that. I'm gonna clip that bit where what was good at Arias? Nothing.
Yeah.
Did I say that? I didn't
More or
say
Pretty
that.
less.
much, yeah.
More or less, Jim, to be fair.
Wes, I can confirm
Oh,
it's a
okay.
1 o'clock kickoff according to Google.
Oh, Google knows all. Google knows all. Thank you, Jim, mate. That was perfect. Thank you, guys.
No
Cheers.
worries.
If I can find where do you stop it? I don't even know. I'm gonna have to edit that now. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. There it is.